Aloha. All right. So today we have a wonderful guest coming to join us. This is a sister friend of mine who I've loved for many years and been friends with for decades as well. And she is an amazing poet. She's an actress. She's a um, entertainer, performer. She's just so many wonderful things. Caridad de la Luz. Caridad de la Luz is an Emmy Award-winning poet known as La Bruja, and she is the current executive director of the Yorican Poets Cafe, the legendary Yorican Poets Cafe. She was a winner of the Jerome Hill Artist Fellowship, and she has been in movies. She's been in Bamboozled, Gun Road Hip Deaf Poetry Jam, Brujalicious, so many things. We'll talk about it when she comes. Ah! She's here. La Reina is here.
Hi, sweetheart.
Aloha, dear. Oh my
Aloha.
God. It's so good to see your gorgeous self.
You too. Look at you.
Oh,
Oh
look
my
at
God.
you.
I had to get a little tropical even though it's cold over here. I'm doing this just for you.
Oh, bless your heart. You look fabulous as always.
Thank
How are
you.
you, my dear?
I'm doing okay. I am
Oh my
doing
goodness.
okay. Oh, I'll follow your lead, whatever you want. Let's
Okay,
let's
let's do it. Okay.
okay.
My next guest is the most beautiful, talented, amazing, one of the most incredible women I know. I've known her for, I think, like 20 years or something like that. Yeah, and I've just seen her blossom and grow and just become an incredible leader in the community. Her name is Caridad de la Luz, aka La Bruja. She's an Emmy Award winner. She was in Deaf Poetry Jam. She's been in movies. She just does it all. So let's welcome the wonderful Caridad. Aloha, sister.
Oh my God, Lani. Aloha, bendiciones, Taino T.
Hi.
So great to see you. Oh my goodness. We
So
came
great to
up
see
in
you
this
too.
together,
We did,
yes.
right? Back in the day.
Oh,
Oh, we were
yes.
young ones together. You're still gorgeous. You don't age. I don't know what it is with you, but
Neither
for
do
real.
you, my love. Yes, you're the
Oh,
same exact. I remember you, and you and I, we were like doing a poetry show. It was for like women in sports or something like that, like years ago. It was like this ballroom, and we were just so young there, entertaining and, sharing women empowerment always with that in mind. And,
oh,
I have great
thank
memories
you.
with you and so happy to be with you.
Oh, same, my dear. You are so magical. First of all, your name is La Bruja, and I remember when we were, I think it was at Mariposas, like when she married herself or something.
Ah,
And I
yeah.
remember you like threw these beautiful white doves in the air, and I was like, who is this goddess just doing magical things? Like it was just such a moment. I'll always remember that, and I was like, oh, La Bruja. And then I
Yes.
became enchanted by your poetry. And yeah,
Thank
I just
you.
want to share a little bit about you with our readers and I mean our listeners. And yeah, so if
Well,
you don't mind,
spirituality has always been a part of my life. People think that because I'm La Bruja that I'm either a santera or, I don't know, that I'm doing black magic or whatever. But I mean, I come from a long line of spiritualists, espiritistas. And,
mm,
I was baptized Catholic, and I was also raised to respect, all religions and to learn about all religions, and finding the message within those
mm-hmm,
religions that unifies us and
yes,
promotes love. And, we've lost sight of that.
mm-hmm.
But I've always been a bruja. Even though my parents got married on Halloween,
Oh, that's fun to know.
there's a lot of witchy things with me. So, but I'm a good
Sweet.
bruja, and
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to dedicate my life to creating spaces that are safe for us to share, from all different walks of life. I love the possibility of what poetry does, what art does to connect
Mm-hmm.
us. And, a lot of people are afraid to really talk face to
Yes,
face. People are very afraid of speaking.
especially
And
now. I feel you. Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know, and even as women. what it
Mm-hmm.
means to be a woman, is it has a lot to do with silencing. So
Yes.
to be outspoken, people will call you a witch.
So, can I ask you, where do you get your courage? You are seem fearless to me. Like the way you've just like navigated and been in this world. I get so much
Mm,
inspiration from you, and I'm just like, wow. So
thank
where does
you.
that?
Where does the? I mean, it's not fearlessness, because
Mm,
courage is a good word, because
mm,
the fear is there, but I
mm.
acknowledge the fear. I thank you for sharing fear, but I have to do this anyway. And I discern what my battles are, because you can't fight everything, but yeah, how you fight and the battles that you choose are just as important as the fight itself.
Right on.
But where do I get my courage? I mean, I look at women of the past that
Mm-hmm.
inspire me, and that have given the ultimate sacrifice. And I think of my ancestors, all the women that lived
Mm,
and died for us to be where we are right now. Like, that inspires me. I wish I could go back and look
mm-hmm.
and learn from their fight. And even though it's in our DNA, but to like see it,
Yeah.
to witness it. But I those thoughts and that spiritual energy gives me the strength.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm just going to start with some fun questions and we'll go dive deep later, but just to make it fun. So, speaking of spirituality, if you had a spirit animal, what would it be? Do you have one that you resonate with?
I have a lot. I love animals. I love the turtle. I
Me
identify very much
too.
with, yeah. I mean,
Ah,
the turtle. I love turtles, and I mean, at one point,
mhm.
I had surgery on my spine when I was 13, so I was like in a body cast, and
Oh, I didn't know that.
I literally felt like a turtle. And we take our time, right? But we get there.
Mm-hmm.
We always
Yes.
get to where we're going, and we're close to the earth, and that is
Mm.
also what makes the turtle sacred. And in the indigenous cultures, the turtles
Mm-hmm.
are magical. So
Oh,
the turtle.
beautiful. Right on.
Even the design on the back of the shell, there's
Yes.
something to that. And then I think the number 13 comes up, which is a very
Mm-hmm.
witchy number, which is like a vilified number, but it actually holds so much magic, like how many moons there are. And so, but all of that to say, La Tortuga.
Gracias. And then, do you have a color or a couple colors that you resonate with?
I love gold and yellow,
Mm.
and
Oh, me too. Yeah,
y-
I can see that.
yes, indeed. The sunflower is my favorite flower.
Mm.
Honey, the color of honey, amber, those,
Mm.
Ochung elements, La Caridad del Cobre, which is the saint that my mother named me after, the patron saint of Cuba, whose
Mm.
Orisha name is Ochung or Oshun in Lukumi, Ochung in Yoruba. And she is the goddess or the deity
Yes.
of sweetness, love, the sweet waters,
Mm.
rivers. So yeah, all of her colors and elements I absolutely love. And the other power animal that I was thinking about is the Chihuahua.
Yeah. Didn't you have a beloved Chihuahua for many years? Oh, rest in
Yeah,
peace.
rest in
Yeah.
peace, Pinky. Her name was Pinky
Pinky.
Promise.
Oh,
Pinky
cute.
Promise Chardonnay, but now I have Lolita LeBront's Chardonnay, which was gift.
I love
I have
these
a
names.
baby.
Of course,
There's a
you're a
lot in
poet.
the
You.
name.
Yes.
So my friend La India, the salsera, the singer,
She's your friend? Of course
she's
she
my
is.
friend, and she
Oh, I
gave me
love
this
her.
puppy.
What? She gave you that puppy? How epic is
Yeah,
that?
it's super
Oh.
epic. So, and I of course I mourned Pinky for a really long time, and then
Hmm.
the day that had the courage to throw away Pinky's stuff was the day
Hmm.
that I found out that Lolita was coming into the world. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
they're
Oh.
your spiritual guardians too. Our
They
animals.
are. Oh, so
Very,
you have
very
a little
important.
baby now. How old is your new baby?
She's eight
Lolita.
months.
Oh.
Yeah. And she already got her period. I was like, what the hell?
Oh, she's mature.
I'm like, okay, it came in the blood moon, lunar eclipse, and then she got her period. I was like, oh my lord.
That's funny. And you were
Yeah.
speaking about Ochun, and did you just come back from Cuba, my dear? Oh my
Yes,
gosh,
I
I would love
did.
to hear all about it. That's so
Oh
amazing.
gosh. Well, Cuba, like politically people have, all these ideas of what Cuba is, and
Mm-hmm.
but the land is sacred.
Yes.
It is, I mean, it's reminiscent of like San Juan, like old San Juan. I was only in Havana. I really didn't explore because it's so big. The island is
Mm-hmm.
big, but like beautiful, beautiful landscapes, the architecture, like in its heyday in
So
like 30,
beautiful,
40, and
right? Oh my
50s. Oh my
God, so
gosh,
gorgeous. I love the
stunning.
colors of the paint, the buildings, just everything is just
And
so
like
picturesque.
their cars, like that they're able to
Yes.
restore those old
Mm-hmm.
cars, like you see them everywhere in Havana. It's just such a Cuban aesthetic. But the
Mm-hmm.
people, like, no matter how oppressed and no matter what they've gone through, they still find the strength in their music, in the culture,
Yes.
and in spirituality. So there's something really beautiful about Cuba, really.
What were you doing
That's
over
beyond
there, if
words.
you don't mind me asking?
um there is a musician named Arturo Ofaril. He's a
Mm-hmm.
Grammy winning
Mm-hmm.
pianist and band leader, and he
Mm-hmm.
has long roots in Cuba. So his
Mm-hmm.
father, Chico O'Farrill, was a jazz musician, and so he comes from a long line of prominent O'Farrells, which actually are like Irish in Cuba.
Oh,
Yeah, with the O F. Yeah, we're
interesting.
also
Connected.
interconnected, but
Yeah.
he goes there quite often, and so he invited me to be part of the group, and I really went as a student and then as an
Mm.
observer this time around, because in
Mm-hmm.
2001 I went because I was on a mission to find a woman named Selena Gonzalez, who was
Mm-hmm.
this folkloric singer, that it was her
Mm.
music that inspired me to even think I could be a bruja.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, like she had music for spirituality, for espiritismo too, like in different African dialects. And she was a santera actually. And
Mm-hmm.
but she did this folkloric music that, I mean, helped spirituality be conducted in a most healing way
Mm-hmm.
for like the diaspora, not just Cubans or Cubans, not just Caribbean, like throughout the world. Her
Mm-hmm.
music, one of her biggest songs was Que Viva Chango.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used that trip. I was
Mm-hmm.
invited to do hip hop in Havana, and I used
Mm-hmm.
that trip to go find her. And in 5 days, I found her.
Oh
I
my
I kissed
God.
her feet. I
Oh
brought
my
her
goddess.
gifts. Yes,
Oh, I
yes,
love
and I
that you made
told
this your
her,
own epic adventure, even while you were on
yes.
another adventure.
On another mission, always there's always a layer of a spiritual quest, and I
Mm-hmm.
went to give her her flowers in life. And
Oh,
she passed away in 2014, so I never got to see her again. But this time I did go and visit her grave and bring her her flowers again.
oh, that is so beautiful. I love that. What a lovely story and adventure and tribute. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you need to hear her music. She was a poet. She
Oh.
was, she wrote her songs, and her songs are so moving, and her voice was just
Mm.
pristine. Yeah, and at the time she was in a performance with her husband who played the guitar, and those were some of the most amazing musicians, those Cuban musicians. Like Buena Vista
Mm-hmm.
Social Club, we
I
understand
love,
how
yeah.
excellent they are, but
Mm-hmm.
these their music was before that movement, so it's super super inspirational.
Oh
I
my
recommend
gosh.
it highly.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up as soon as we get off this
Yeah.
interview.
Oh.
Yeah. You
And I
know,
got
I
to sing with her and everything. Like
you
she sang.
did? Oh,
Yeah,
how
and
epic.
she was frail at the time, but I sang to her.
Mm,
I told
mm.
her, that it was her music that made me even want to sing, and so yeah,
Oh my
got to do
goodness.
that.
That really touches my heart and soul. You know, I love Cuba. I've been there like 7 times.
No
Back, yeah.
way.
I had a Cuban fiance. I'll tell you about it one day. Oh
That
Lord, I
makes
fell in love
sense.
with that country, like literally.
Wow, I
Yeah.
understand. I
Mm-hmm.
understand.
Oh my goodness. But you are Puerto Rican. Your roots
I am
are,
Puerto Rican,
yeah.
Boricua
So,
to the core.
Boricua, I know. I love that.
Yes.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your childhood, how you grew up, and when you got interested or into poetry?
Oh, sure. Well, I'm born in the Bronx and I'm still
Mm-hmm.
living in the Bronx, but I spent all of my summers in Puerto Rico. So my father's
Mm.
family stayed in Puerto Rico. My mother's family came to the Bronx. So
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with the best of
Both
both
worlds.
those worlds.
Mm.
Absolutely. And my great grandmother on my mother's side was the person that would recite poetry and would share poetry. And our
Ooh.
ages were such that my grandmother was taking care of both of us. So my mother's mother was taking care of her mother and her granddaughter. So she and we would bond in la sala in the living room, and she would
Mm.
teach me poems and I would perform them for the family. And so
Oh,
that was planted very young with my matriarch line of
wow.
poetry for
Mm-hmm.
sure. And I mean, my parents they met dancing
Ooh.
salsa, and
Mm.
so
How
music
romantic.
and salsa is very much a part of my life. Even the music that I've done, because I've had record deals and I've been in a lot of artistic realms, but
Yeah.
I had to find the thing that worked best for me. And
Mm-hmm.
but I infused salsa into my hip hop, of course, because of being born in the Bronx and being Puerto Rican. Um, and Puerto Rico continues to, inspire so much
Mm-hmm.
of my creativity. I'm actually working on a one woman show that's been
Ooh.
in development for a few years, but as executive director of the Yorican Poets Cafe, that's taken a
Yes.
lot of my time.
I know
But
you. That's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Congratulations.
thank
That
you.
is legendary.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work to create, to make this space something that it always has been, but never has been.
Mm-hmm.
Like this iconic space of creativity, but then like ushering it into the next 50 years or 100 years, because now we're under a $24 million renovation. And
Wow.
yeah, and so the whole building is being redone, and it's really growing from a venue, an artistic venue, to a cultural institution. And
Yeah.
Puerto Rico inspires all of that because it's part
Mm.
of the diaspora. The expression, the reason it even exists, is because of the Puerto Rican diaspora and the New Yorican culture and the Afro Caribbean cultures as well, that have just, created just so much inspiration. Um, but like I said, I'm still in the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
And I still spend a lot of time in Puerto Rico. My father lives in Puerto Rico now, and my mother lives right next door to me in the Bronx.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, the two worlds still are one. I live in New York, like that's where I'm like
Yeah.
somewhere in between all the time.
Well, I want to do a cheers with you. Do you have a cup of tea by any chance?
Do-
Oh, cheers,
Thank
my
you,
dear.
Salud.
Salud.
Thank you, beauty.
It's such a pleasure and honor to be chatting with you. What are you drinking?
Oh, I just have water.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
I had, because I was a little warm in here. And so I said, let me not do the tea. I just have beautiful, the most sacred
Pure.
liquid.
Water is life, right?
Water is life. And
My
I know that
God.
you've been doing like workshops and like cleansing retreats. I dream of going to be with you
Oh, you're
one
gonna come in
day.
this lifetime. I would love it. Come on, life is
I
long.
need
We're still
to.
young enough. I will take you around everywhere. It would be so much fun. Oh my
Well,
goodness.
the intersectionality between Puerto Ricans and Hawaiians, like that, there's a
Yes,
deep rooted
that is
history
very
there.
deep.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
you
with the
witness it
sovereignty
while you're
movement.
out there?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
strong movement, a growing movement towards like sovereignty. It's been here. There are certain places here that they call like the Kingdom of Hawaii, and it's very evident that it is the Kingdom of Hawaii. It always has been, and so I love that. Like the strength of the Hawaiian people, the strength of the Puerto Rican people is just really so much mana, power, soul, and yeah. So
I love that.
I'm here with y'all. I'm like, yes,
Yes,
these
so
new movements
beautiful.
are like, rooted in the past and it's happening. So yeah,
Yes,
it never
it
ended.
never
Yeah,
dies. Yeah, it never has
yeah,
died. For real.
yeah.
People, minimize it because it's so strong.
Mm-hmm.
But but it's also, it's a spirit,
It
and
is.
that will never be destroyed.
Yes. God bless. And
Mm-hmm.
congratulations on being the executive director of the Yorican Poets Cafe. I mean, that is huge. And how is that for you? Is it, yeah, I want to hear all about that experience for you as an artist, as as somebody who
Well,
curates all these amazing events.
it's a delicate thing
Mm,
because I'm trying to honor so much of our founders and the spirits of
yes.
the past.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes I feel like a lot of my conversations and a lot of my energy is in communication with spirit, and I'm I'm sometimes not communicating here. I'm
Yeah.
communicating there. And,
Yeah.
people may not understand like
Mm,
what I'm doing and why I do what I do, but it all has a purpose. And I hope that one day looking back, people can really see all the intention, the positive intention, and the attention to detail. Um,
mm-hmm.
and, it's been hard because I basically had to reopen it from the pandemic. I became
Wow.
executive director in 2022. So it was
Mm.
shut down and dilapidated in a 100-year
Oh
old
my gosh.
tenement building. Yeah, it was crazy. I learned a lot about insurances and,
You had to do all
things that
that.
all of that. Are you kidding
Oh
me? And
Lord,
like,
honey.
and form a staff that'll work with you, under
Mm.
like a patriarchal constructs,
Mm-hmm.
and like, it's like, creating something while dismantling something else as a
Ooh.
woman, is
Mm,
very, very
yeah.
difficult, and it's met with a lot of challenges.
Mm.
But I mean, it's happening.
Right on.
We are just a few days away from a year from reopening a $24 million institution, a
Wow.
renovation. Yes, like it has been
Epic.
incredible, epic,
Oh,
really.
congratulations. Oh, that's exciting. So
Yes,
where's
I
the new
mean,
location? I want to know.
well, it's the same
Oh,
building.
same building. Okay, just
Yeah, it's on
renovated.
Third
Oh,
Street between B
right
and C.
on.
So it's a renovation restoration project. We've only
Okay.
functioned out of the bottom two floors for the last, decades, but now it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be the whole
Oh, the
building.
whole building. Oh, that's
Yes.
so
Going from
exciting.
one theater to two theaters, a flex space, I mean, an
Oh my
archive.
gosh.
So much, really, really.
Wow.
I feel like everything that I've done and everything that I've experienced has really put me in this place, for a reason.
Right on.
And it is happening. I mean, I got to have you in the room before our close. We closed down on our
Yeah, I was so
50th
happy to see you
anniversary.
then. Yeah.
You came through for the wow, right? For the Women
Yeah.
Orator Wednesday featured.
I
And we're
did. It was
still
so
doing the
wonderful to
wow.
see you.
It was great to see you and your daughter.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
I know.
it was such a special day. Um,
Yeah.
and so now that we've been closed
Mm-hmm.
for a year, we've done successfully a year off site of programming, and wow is
Amazing.
continuing. Yeah, like now, like the work still remains. Like, just
Yeah.
because we didn't have a building didn't mean that we weren't going to be of service. And that has been a learning experience too, because then we get
Mm-hmm.
to work with all these different organizations. And then when we reopen, we have a greater idea of how to function like on a higher level.
Yeah.
But it's all learning as I go. So
So, how do you do that and your own creative work? Like that is mind-boggling to me. Like how are you doing a one-woman show and running like this, like cultural institution in New York? Like,
I
how
don't,
does that
it's
work?
the love. It's just the
Mm,
inspiration. So much creativity, and like, it's really for the love. And
mm,
that love is so strong that sometimes it is what saves me and allows me to do my job as an administrator, as an executive director. Like, that wasn't what I had my intentions like set on doing. I,
yeah.
always just wanted to create, but the creativity is what keeps me sane while having to do all of those other things. Like, I still run to it
Yeah.
and write when I, feel pain or
Mm,
frustration or whatever. It's still that safety net for me. And so,
nice.
um, you know, and being around so much creativity. I mean, we have a slam
Mm,
team now. We have this whole community that they pour their hearts out on the stage. Like, being around that energy. We have amazing hosts. I have an amazing
mm-hmm.
staff that, I'm really proud of what we've accomplished. And, it's not hard to be creative when you're surrounded by so much creativity.
I love that you're like this wonderful mama, bringing together all of these incredible artists and just like, having that safe haven space in New York. That's so amazing. What a blessing.
It is a blessing. I
Mm.
also have tried not to see myself as a mama too much, though,
Mm.
because we get caught up in mothering people that we don't need to
Mm.
mother.
That
So
is so true.
I've
Oh,
had to,
Lord.
because I mean, I have two children, like, and they're grown and, they're still my babies, and I'm
They're
very mothering. Yeah,
Yeah.
my son is 26, and my daughter is 24. My son just turned 27, actually. Oh my
Oh,
God.
congratulations. Yeah,
Yeah.
they look
Hmm.
beautiful. They're like such
Thank you.
shining reflections of you. So,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
yeah.
I love them so much. And
Oh,
so, we're mothers. It's easy to be
yeah.
mothering. But in a business setting, you do have to unlearn that
Mm.
a bit and detach. Otherwise, your emotions get pulled on way too much.
Ooh, I can
You
see
have
that.
to,
Yeah.
yes, for sure, create a boundary for yourself
Mm.
so that you don't lose
Mm.
yourself. Yeah.
Right
Because then that
on.
line
That's
blurs,
the
and then it's
truth.
like, who am I?
Mm.
Where do I begin? Where does this end? And, for
Yeah.
your own sanity, you can't be a mom to everybody.
That's such wise advice. I like that.
But it's easy. So if you want to mom somebody, get a chihuahua.
Right? Dogs are great to mom.
Oh, yes. Yes. Because they love you no matter what.
Yes. And what brings you joy, my dear? Because you have so much joy in you. So.
What brings me joy? Oh my gosh. Simple things. I'm really simple.
Hmm.
I love purity, nature. I love being in, you know, paradise.
Yes.
And paradise can mean different things for different people, but anything that's clean and green is paradise
Mm.
for me.
I love that.
Yeah, I love it too. Um, I mean, the arts, of course, brings me joy, and having little animals brings me joy.
Hmm.
Seeing seeing people accomplish their dreams brings me
Mm.
joy. I really do. I really do wish the best for people. you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I really do.
I see and
Uh,
feel that for sure. And who have been some of your biggest inspirations?
oh gosh, well, I'm named Selena Gonzalez de Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
Julia de Burgos from Puerto Rico, who's
Ooh,
like the
yes.
foundation of Yorican poetry, like her feminist expressions. I mean, what a genius she was.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And Frida Kahlo,
Ooh, yes, I
because of
love Frida Kahlo
so many
too.
reasons. But Frida
Yes.
Kahlo's, her openness about her spine condition and the things that she went through
Mm-hmm.
in the times that I've dealt with unbearable pain, because
Mm.
I have metal rods in my spine. I had surgery when I was 13 because I have scoliosis. I have a curvature of the spine.
Oh.
And yeah, I was like a ballerina first before I even did poetry, and then I had to give up the dancing dreams. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and so like I think about the pain that that Frida was going through, and
Mm.
when I think about her pain, it just made my pain feel like, okay, this is not
Mm.
so bad. Like, this is
Mm.
bearable. So those three women for sure, and there's many
Mm.
more, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what kind of advice do you wish someone had given you at the beginning of your artistic journey? Is there anything
Oof.
that you wish
Well,
somebody had told you would have made it easier?
um, well, nothing makes you or breaks you.
Mm.
I think,
I love
a
that.
lot of people, some people get even into this poetry scene hoping to become a star.
Mm-hmm.
And you do things, and then you're like, maybe this is my big break, or maybe this is my big break. And I
Yeah.
think that it's important to let that go and just
Mm-hmm.
be invested in the journey.
Mm. That's
And
so
because
wise. I love
because you're
that.
gonna have bad things that happen too, and you can't
Mm-hmm.
give up and quit and feel like, oh, I'm useless, I'm worthless. No, it's like you got to see it as equally as important as the good things.
Yeah. That's so wise.
Yeah, it's not easy though. It's not
Yeah.
easy because, like, especially when in these apps of addiction to likes, and validation
Mm-hmm.
and everything.
I
It's
know,
really
especially
hard,
in these days, it's crazy.
very,
Yeah.
very hard to be able to create your own self-esteem and your own, uh, you know, I don't know what this is, but whatever this is, this.
Balance,
like,
peace. Yeah,
yeah.
I feel you. Aw, right on. And
Yeah.
what kind of advice would you give to a newbie who's like just starting on the journey and wants to do something similar to you or has, those kind of ambitions? Any
Oh
words of
man.
advice?
Well, you can't be too scared either. Like you can't be
Mm-hmm.
too careful. I mean, it's how can I say? You can't pre-edit yourself. At least get it outside of
Yes.
yourself. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
get it outside of yourself. Even
Yeah.
if it's, just to share with your fam or your peeps or whatever, like in
Mm-hmm.
a small group, to start is
Mm-hmm.
a big deal. Like, have
Yeah.
that journal with you, write those
Mm.
thoughts down. Like, I still write in journals. I love writing in journals
Me
and
too.
carrying a journal with me. And like, something like I used to not want to fill up a journal, like, because like, oh, the book is so clean. Like,
Is
I
that
don't
your
want to mess.
journal?
This is
Ooh.
the one I'm working on now. I mean, I
Oh,
have
I
to, a
love
bunch,
it.
and I put
Yeah.
stickers and I make it
Nice.
my own. I would just
Yes.
say, whatever you do, just do it.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't not do it. If that makes
Hmm.
sense,
Yeah, that makes sense. Totally.
for real. Like, go sing karaoke if you're a singer. Go like exercise this tool that you've been given, this vessel of sound and light and energy, like see it as
Hmm.
such, use this body, because somebody said, I read this recently, like waking up today as
Hmm.
if like your 90-year-old self is waking up today. Like, you may not feel so young, but imagine what your 90-year-old self would think of this body in time.
Ooh, I love that. That is a great way to look at it.
Yeah,
Mahalo.
it
Thank
helps
you.
you, like, yeah, like, wow,
Yeah.
it helps you embrace the day. And
Yes.
yeah, so that's one thing.
Well, you've done so much. Is there anything else left that you still want to do that you haven't done yet in this lifetime? Is there anything on your bucket list that you want to get
Sure.
to?
Uh, you know, I love acting and I love
Mm.
film, and I've been in films and stuff, but um, I still have the dreams of creating a film. And
Ooh.
I mean, I've written plays. I've written a lot. I've been sleeping on a lot of my own stuff too. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
do invest a lot of my energy in creating spaces for other people to be
Mm-hmm.
expressive, but I have a
Mm-hmm.
lot more creativity than I've even shared. So,
Mm-hmm.
I need to just dig back into those things and bring them out. But film is definitely one avenue of creativity that I respect immensely and would love to do more of.
I can see that. You're very photogenic, and I'm sure that you could be on film as well. Like,
Thank
it's so
you.
gorgeous. Yeah.
You
And if you
too,
could
my
choose
love.
oh, thank you, a superpower, my dear, what superpower would you choose and
Ah,
why?
I was thinking about this. I would like to be a purifier. I
Ooh.
would love to be able to purify people's thoughts,
Mmm.
purify all the world, dirty water, the
Mmm.
air.
I
I would
love
love
that.
to be able to like put my hands on something and make it pristine and clean again, and
Mm.
restored. So, a
And
purifier.
just as you said that, the rain fell down here. Like, do you hear it?
Yes, I do.
That's so magical.
Isn't
It's just
it?
so magical in
No,
Caridad.
it's listening.
It
It's definitely there, reflecting what we feel and what we express.
is. Yes.
That's beautiful. Blessings upon you.
Oh, blessings upon you too, my love.
Thank you.
Oh, and what matters most to you, would you say?
Gosh, what matters most to me? Um, that's a hard question to
I know.
answer. I mean, as a mom, what matters to me is that my children are happy and safe.
Yes, I
that
feel you on that
happy and
one.
safe. And, so what I wish for my children and for all children, yeah, I wish that for myself too. Those are the things that matters, being happy and being safe.
Yeah,
Um, I feel like that's a happy and safe answer too, though. Like
yeah.
there's more to be said. Because there's also like you can't always be happy and you can't always be safe. And how
Mm-hmm.
you handle those moments when you're not really says a lot.
That's true. That's true.
Hmm.
And
Like not
especially in
losing it.
in these times that are so crazy, I'm asking people like, what is your way of coping or dealing with all of the, the madness and the drama and the conflict that's in our world and the war? Like, how do you unplug at all, or do you like dive into it? Like, how do you handle?
Well, I admittedly do unplug. Like, I don't watch the news. I don't have a TV or anything in
Mm-hmm.
my house. I don't
I don't have a TV
watch.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
don't. I mean, and social media will show enough and share enough, and
Yeah.
people will, tell you.
What's going on?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sorry. What was the question that you were asking originally? How do I cope with this stuff?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. It is daunting.
Mm-hmm.
It really is scary. And I reach out to people. I have my own, I have my own spiritual practices, my
Well,
own
good.
way of
Yeah.
cleansing. Like I make
Mm-hmm.
floral baths.
Oh, I
I
love that. That's so
meditate, I
lovely. Mm-hmm.
chant, I do
Mm,
pray, I have an altar,
mm,
I acknowledge my ancestors, and I do
mm.
all of those things. A lot of my time is spent in spiritual practice, and
I
that
love that.
has
Oh,
yeah, that really has kept me grounded.
mm.
Yeah, a lot of the time I'm in communication with spirit, and like I never really talked about that, like as La Bruja, and why I would call myself La Bruja, but it had very much to do with that spiritual practice, and it continues to this day. I mean, and like I said, I'm baptized Catholic, so like my grandmother was absolutely, a very faithful, God fearing woman,
Mm-hmm.
and and I honor that, and I
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge that, um, but I also acknowledge the indigenous ways, and I learn as much as
Yes.
I can about those ways, and I live connected to that as much as possible.
You do. I knew that from the moment I saw you throw those white doves and they were flying in the sky. I was like, this woman
Oh
is
yeah, the
at
white
one with
doves.
nature.
Oh, for real. My dad had a
Yeah.
pigeon coop for many years. And
Oh,
so,
really?
yeah, I used to do funerals, weddings. I would take a
What?
white bird. Oh, yeah, and do
Yeah,
a
because you
whole
were a natural. I
ceremony.
was like, oh, look at that. That was one of the most beautiful things I had ever seen in real life. Like something like that happening.
I'm glad you saw
Stuck in
that.
my memory. Me too.
Deep. That is so deep. Yeah, because like animals do have a role in spirituality too, and so
Yes.
the wings of the bird. Like I ask for the wings of the bird to carry the spirit to heaven, or I'll
Hmm.
ask for different things depending on who's passed away or what is needed. Like that day was Mariposa
Yes.
being married, and so I
Mm-hmm.
brought the bird to like cleanse her and take away any
Hmm.
negative energy, and to take it away so she can feel at one with herself. So there's different purposes, different ways to achieve amazing things in spirituality, and birds happen to be one of them too.
I love that. Yeah,
Hmm.
I can definitely feel your ancestors strong with you. And they surround you with their light, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so
And
much.
yes. And do you think about legacy, like how you want to be remembered and things like that? Or is that
I do.
something that.
I mean, I think about legacy. I think about not even my legacy. Like I'm so
Mm-hmm.
invested in the New Yorican Poets Cafe legacy, and I guess that's part
Mm,
of my legacy too,
mm,
because
yeah.
I am a New Yorican poet, and but I'm thinking about those first 50 years and when the Yorican Poets Cafe was founded, what was the intention? What did they want to see? And so
Mhm.
that legacy is what I'm mostly concerned with right now. I mean, because it's
Yeah.
called the Yorican Poets Cafe, but it wasn't a
Mhm.
cafe. We did not sell coffee. We served poetry. But the reason they
Word.
called it a cafe is because they really did want that. So now in
Mm.
this new incarnation is like really honoring their original
Mm.
wishes. So
Mm.
I am invested in legacy. Um,
Yes.
for the cafe right now.
Right
That's
on.
like the focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how can we
Mhm.
support you? Do you have any books or retreats or events that you can share that we can tune
Uh,
into or support?
you know, at the moment, I would just say follow the Yorican Poets Cafe and follow what we're doing and
Mm-hmm.
come to a slam, come to an open mic. We even do
Mm-hmm.
stuff online. I would say, more than looking at my work right now, eventually if you see my work come up, support me then. But
Mm-hmm.
right now, yeah, support the New Yorican Poets Cafe. I mean, of course, you can follow me, La Bruja NYC, and my
Mm-hmm.
website, caridaddelaluz.com. I've let a lot of my own legacy fall to the wayside because, like I said, I'm just so invested in the New Yorican Poets Cafe. But neweurekan.org is the website. Look at the calendar. Look at all the amazing things we've been doing and become a part of that.
Right
That's
on.
what I would love. I would love to see that. And when we reopen in
Mm-hmm.
2026, come and see the new building. Come,
Right on.
come and see
Most
what all the work is
definitely.
for. Hmm.
Sweet. And
Yes.
last thing, because you are a poet, I don't know if you feel called or if you would be, share a poem or two with us. It would be such a blessing and an honor just to hear you do your thing.
Well, I mean, I have a bunch of poems here. Was there anything like any kind of theme you really want to hear about
Oh,
or?
anything you say is a blessing. It's fine. Whatever one you like, that
Mm,
your favorite that you'd want to share at this moment.
okay. Well, um, I hear cookies in you. I hear the cookie
Yes, the
in
cookies are
I
here.
hear the
I hear every
cookie.
night. I hear them. I think about Puerto Rico.
That's so incredible.
Yeah.
Um, well, oh my gosh. What can I say? Um, now I get shy, right?
You have such an enchanting flow when you spit your rhymes, and it's just
Thank you.
incredible. Yeah.
Well, I did have this poem and it's called Roe versus Wade. Because what we are experiencing as women and
Mm,
how we are going back and I believe in the matriarchy and the power of
yes, me
women.
too.
I believe in the
Mm-hmm.
feminine divine and everything um, that we are capable of, and how much we're minimized, and just how difficult it is for young women to still
Mm,
find their strength during,
mm-hmm.
facing these times and living in a patriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm going to just share this one. And here we go. In the real world, we are God, upheld to religious distortions. Patriarchy is the killer, not abortions. These wars are not pro-life, they are legalized extortion. While we are drilled for our babies like human broodmares, forced to breed, it seems, is what anti-choice really means. We swim through oceans of rhetoric while rapists scour our shipwrecks. We've been the captains of our secrecy, but not of our bodies. They call us their bitches, burn us like witches, crash our vessel and ransack our riches. Insatiable scream their assaults. Buried treasures begin to float from our throats. From the bowels of forced sterility, our reservoirs are fracked with lack of accountability, our mouths held shut by the same hands that pound gavels. In cold blood or in oil barrels, we give birth to babies strangled with umbilical cords wrapped in military and prison apparel. In these turbulent waters, we must row Verses wade, dam their river of threats. We must grow unafraid as we try to scratch serial numbers off of our ovaries. Domestic
Mm.
violence with impunity repeats itself like history. Prove to me the mystery while firearms report. Silence is a loaded gun, riddled with bullets. Poetic license is my tongue. Casings found with no diameters. Forensic is my aim. Unmatched emotional calibers. Bullseye is my name. These words are pointed at the misogynists who feed off of our oppression and care not of consent. As our emotions are labeled top shelf overreactions, we raise a shot glass filled with our passions, toss it back. Their time is ticking away like the hands of grandfather clocks. Matriarchy howls the wind. Me too. And time's up.
Ah,
Thank you.
thank
Love you,
you, sister.
sis.
I love you so much. You are a
Mwah.
blessing
Thank
to
you.
our world, to your community, just to everybody who meets you. So I'm so grateful to
Thank
have
you.
this time with you. Mahalo,
Always.
sister.
Thank you so much. Until the
Mm,
next time, and may it be
yes.
soon.
Yes. Mwah. Aloha.
Aloha.
Sarang.
Kainoti Ache.
Ay. Chihu.